Hey everyone, and welcome back to VFX Vibe once again. So in today's video we are going to see how we can use sequencer inside Unreal Engine 5 and render out a sequence. So today's video will be a very basic video regarding sequencer, and if you want to know more advanced thing about sequencer, please don't forget to comment in comment box. So without wasting any time, let's jump to screen. So here, as you can see, I have my scene setup. Probably you have seen this image on my Instagram page. Few days back, I have posted that thing. So also you want to know how I made this, don't forget to comment in comment box. Very soon I'm going to make a video series of creating landscapes, so don't worry. So here, if I want to animate my camera, suppose that I want to animate my camera, I have few cameras over here. So one is here and another one is here, right? So I'm not going to show any setting of camera. Today we are going to only concentrate on sequencer. So if you want to see through your camera, just you have to go to perspective, and here you can select your camera, right? So this is what my camera is saying, and it's not animated. So to add sequencer in your scene, you have to go over here and just click that drop down menu, and you have to add level sequencer. We are not going to talk about master sequence, but you are going to talk about level sequence. So just click over here. You need to set that thing, right? So I'm going to add SQ underscore YouTube. You have to give some name and you have to save it. So as you can see over, as I'm going to save it, I have my sequence over here, and I'm getting a new window, right, which is blank. So if you want to add new things, like you want to add audio track, you want to add short track, you want to add fade track, anything you want to add, you can add over here. But if you want anything which is already in your scene to animate it, just what you have to do, I'm going over here and I'm going to select my camera, scene camera. If you can see, I have two cameras over here. Let me expand it. Two cameras over here, scene camera actor and scene camera actor 1. It will be good if you are going to rename it, but I know my camera is this, as I'm going to select it, and probably I'm going to drag it in my sequencer. Pretty easy. And what will happen, my sequencer will show what your camera or what my camera is saying, right? So suppose that I want to render my camera from frame number 0 to frame number might be 100 or 150, whatever frame rate you have decided. So what you need to do, I'm not going to do fancy things, just I want to animate my camera and render my sequence, right? So I'm going to frame number 0, and here I have transform, right? By default it will be here. If not, then just you have to click over here and just you have to add that particular property. But by default it will be there. So I want to animate my transformation, so I'm going to click over here. So as you can see, I'm getting 3 dots, means I have my location, rotation, scale animated on frame number 0, right? Now I'm going to frame number, suppose at 150, and just what you have to do, either you can change the value from here, or you can go to perspective view. You can go to perspective view and you can select your camera and you can animate it as per your requirement, right? Suppose that I want to do something like that, and just you have to click on this button, and automatically what will happen, your camera will be animated. As you can see, when I'm going to pull back my timeline, and as you can see, my camera has been animated, right? Pretty simple, nothing fancy. Apart from that, if you want to render it out, what you have to do, just you have to click over here, render this movie to a video or image frame sequence. What will happen, this thing will come, right? So already I have few sequence, but our sequence is sequence YouTube. So you have to click on unsaved config, right? Whenever you're going to click unsaved config, this setting will come. So by default you have JPG sequence, deferred rendering, and output. So first thing first, we are going to output, where we want to save our scene or save our render. So output directory, you can select it and you can choose whatever you want. So I'm going to output, and you can make one new folder like SQ underscore YouTube, and just select that folder. And if you want file name format sequence name, you can have it, or you can change it whatever you want. I'm not going to change it. So resolution should be 1920 1080. If you want to render 3K, 2K, 4K, you can increase that rendering. What should be your FPS? You can decide over here, 24 film per second. You can overwrite or whatever you want. Use custom frame rate. If you're going to click it, you will be able to change your FPS, but I'm not going to do it. So it will be good. So I think more or less I'm done with this setting. If you want to render your JPG sequence or whatever you want, you have to select from here. Suppose that you want to JPG sequence, you can select it from here. Or you want to add a EXR sequence, you can add it. So keep it in mind that if both will active, what will happen? Both will render. So if you want EXR sequence, you can do it. If you want suppose that PNG sequence, you can do it. If you want Apple ProRes 10 to 12 bit, you can do it, or you can do whatever you want over here. You can see it, right? So for this case, I'm going to render a PNG sequence. It will be good for me, and I'm going to delete my EXR sequence, and I'm going to delete my JPG sequence. And deferred rendering, nothing much. You can use few passes like depth pass, and you can use motion vector and depth pass. You can render it out, but for this example I don't need that, so might be I can off it or on it. It will be your choice. If you want to work on anti-aliasing, what you have to do, just click on settings one more time, and here you can use a few things like anti-aliasing, and you can increase your spatial sample count, might be to 28 or 56, and you have to use this thing, override anti-aliasing. Just click over here, right? So by doing this, I'm all set to render my PNG sequence, right? I don't need anything else. So I am going to accept it, and I'm going to render local. So what will happen? A window will come, a rendered preview will come, and here you can see my total frames is 150, and here elapsed time, it will start in low quality, but don't worry, it will render in high quality. So let it render, and I'll come back once it's done. Okay, as you can see over here, my sequence has been rendered, but I haven't rendered the full sequence, but it's 0 to 58 number frames. And as I'm going to open it, you can see my sequence has been rendered. And if you want to do a little color correction, or you want to render it as a MP4 file, so what you need to do, just you can use your Nuke or whatever, you can use your Premiere. So let me open my Premiere, and I'll let you know. Okay, so here in Premiere, I'm going to double click, and I'm going to navigate to my render, and just you need to take care about image sequence should checked on, and just I'm going to open it. So here I'm going to drag and drop it on my media, and as you can see, my sequence has been rendered. So if you want to do some color grading, you can do it, or you can render as a video file from Premiere as well. So I hope this very simple and a short video will help you to understand the workflow of sequencer if you want to render your sequence from Unreal. So it's a bit tricky, but it's pretty simple. So if you think that this video is going to help you in terms of understanding sequencer inside Unreal Engine, please don't forget to like this video, share this video, and if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe. With this said, this is VFX5 signing off. Have a good day.